Good morning. Today we will see about the reproductive system. Female reproductive system is one of the important question always asked in the question paper. So when you are studying female reproductive system, first female reproductive system is an important organ. This organ mainly useful for the pregnancy and the childbirth. Okay, the female reproductive system is classified into external genitalia and internal genitalia. External will be labia majora, labia minora, clitorius, vestibular gland and the perineum. What is by the labia majora? It's a large skin folding forming the vulva, and then it is containing large number of the sebaceous glands are present. Anteriorly joins together, it forms to the symphysis pubis. Posteriorly it is forming the perineum. Just below the perineum there is a structure is called this anus. So this is the external genitalia. External in this labia minora there is a smaller fold which is forming, is called the labia majora, which is present in front of the labia majora. It is also having the sweat glands are there. The cleft between this minora is called the vestibular glands are present. There is a vestibular glands like a small appearance is there. In this opening here over here is called this clitorius. Clitorius is a sensory nerve endings are there. When it is correspondent to the penis, the eros of the sexual feeling. This is called the hymen present. This vestibular gland present in the both side of the both side near the vaginal opening it is present. This triangular area is called the perineum. This is called, if a short notes on the external short notes are coming about the external genitalia of female, you can just draw this picture and write it. And you can write about the arterial supply. It's a arterial supply by the internal pudendal artery, that is the branch from the iliac artery which is coming. Then external pudendal artery, that is branch from the femoral artery it is coming. Okay, this is the anus, and this will be the urethral orifice which is present. So this is about the external genitalia. Venous drainage will be the same will be the internal iliac vein it will be coming. And then the nerves will be the branches of the pudendal nerves. Okay, in the mons pubis. Next we will see about the internal genitalia. Internal genitalia, first one is the vagina, hymen, uterus and uterine tubes and ovaries. What is this vagina? This is called the vagina. So vagina is like a fibromuscular tube. It is made up of by the stratified squamous epithelium, like how the digestive system is made up of. The opening is there, the vestibule present, and the proximal end is there with the cervix will be there. It lies between the 45 degree between the bladder in front, and bladder will be the front, and will be the rectum and anus will be in the back of the vagina. Okay, then the structure of vagina, the walls of the vagina, if you see, outer will be the areolar tissue, areolar tissues are there, middle will be the smooth muscles, inner will be the stratified squamous epithelium. The vagina is always will be acidic because lactobacillus acidophilus bacteria is present, it making the vagina will be acidic. The pH of vagina, if you see, 4.9 and 3.5 is the pH. So the most of the time microorganisms will be killed. The vaginal mainly by the the arteries which is supplied by the vagina is by the vaginal artery. The venous plexus will be drained to the internal iliac vein. Nervous supply, parasympathetic and sympathetic nerve supply. Okay, pudendal nerve will be supplying to the nerve supply. So this is the first part of the internal internal genitalia, vagina. What is called hymen? Hymen, which is lies just inside the opening of the vagina, where it is a thin tube which stretches across the vagina. It will be completely intact during the first sexual intercourse, but it's not always by this, sometimes due to the playing games and other thing it is also tear. The second one we are going to see is called the uterus. So this is the uterus. Uterus lies in the pelvic cavity, isn't it? It is a pear-shaped structure. It is the parts of the uterus, you see, bundus, body, cervix and the vagina. If you see, this is called the isthmus. The two finger like a two hand like appearance is just below the fundus. It is there. It is called the fallopian tube. Understand? This is called isthmus. This is called ampulla, and then finger like appearance are present. This is called the fimbriae. We have two ovaries are present. Understand? If you see the cut section of the uterus, when the body is in upright position, uterus in a horizontal position. The weight, it is about the 7.5 centimeter long and 5 centimeter will be the wide. Okay, the wall of the thickness of the wall of the uterus will be 2.5 centimeter thickness. The weight is about to nearly 30 to 40 gram, nearly about the uterus. And then it has got how these uterus are standing in the this one, because of the ligaments, round ligaments, broad ligaments. If you see the broad ligaments, it's covering the anterior and posterior portion of the uterus as well as the fallopian tube. It is completely covering this like a bed sheet. Okay, this is the walls of the uterus. If you see the perimetrium, myometrium and the endometrium. So this is the perimetrium, myometrium and endometrium is the walls of the uterus. During the hormonal changes or all these things, menstruation, all these endometrial changes will be taken place. Okay. The uterus is mainly supplied by the various arteries. If you see the uterine arteries and uterine vein, here will be the vaginal arteries and the vaginal vein. Lymph of the uterus by the uterine tubes and the aortic limbs it will be joined. Nerve supply will be the parasympathetic and the sympathetic fibers will be formed from the lumbar outflow. It will be going. Okay, many ligaments are supporting, like a broad ligaments or the round ligaments, the uterosacral ligaments are there, and the transverse cervical ligaments. So it is holding the uterus in its position. What is the functions of uterus? What is the functions of vagina? What is the functions of vagina? Structure is anatomy, function is the physiology. So what is the functions of this one? Vagina first. Vagina will be receiving the penis, useful in a sexual intercourse, and will be the passing canal where the birth will be taken place, and it will be menstrual flow will be happening due to this one. What is this functions of uterus? Uterus is I told you endometrial changes will be taken place. So regular menstruation with the control of the hypothalamus. All the follicular hypothalamus will be stimulated, right? So that follicular, all these things we will see in the next class about the ovary, how the hormones are activated upon, how the uterus itself activated as one of the hormone producing organ, that we will see. So if no fertilization happening, then what will happen? That the uterus will be cry. That cry is called the menstruation. The ovum is fertilized, then it is called the zygote. Once the ovum is coming from this 14th day, it will be here, and 14th day it will be here and will be moving. Ovum cannot move like a sperm, but due to the ciliary cilia present over here, to that slowly will be moving. Fertilization will be taken place after 14th day. This one will be coming over to the upper portion of the uterus fundus. So there will be a placenta will be forming. So there is a implantation will be taken place. Once the implantation is taken place, uterus helps to supply the baby the nutrients through the placenta. So it is also have secretory function. Once the placenta forms, placenta will be act as some of the hormones will be HCG something will be secretor. So uterus have a secretory functions also. Fertilization function also. Ovum is also fertilized. Implantation function is there, and the menstruation function is there, and supplying the nutrition, and also at the end estrogen also will be secreted. And also how this estrogen will be secreted? It's secreted during once the uterus is like when the oxytocin will be produced. Understand? Oxytocin where it will be produced from the posterior pituitary. Okay, so that will be like it will be controlled by some positive feedback mechanism, so that it will be helpful for delivery. So it is also holding the baby, carrying the baby, giving nutrition to the baby. Ovulation is taken place, and fertilization will be taken place. It's embedding here, placenta is forming, supplying the nutrients and other materials to this one. Okay, this is about the uterus. So if they are asking the structure of uterus, you can draw the structure, mark the parts, and in detail. Whenever you are telling, just you tell it is in a pelvic cavity, how many grams weight, what is present in the anteriorly or posteriorly or superiorly or laterally, what is present above this one, and you mark the parts of the uterus at least, and the ligaments. You remember that any organ will be not lying simply in the peritoneal cavity, right or not, or on the abdominal or uterine. This all will be holded by the thing is called many various ligaments. You just remember what all the ligaments are there. Next, if you see the uterine tube, what is the other name of the uterine tubes? So what is the other name? This is called fallopian tube. Otherwise it is called the fallopian tube. If the inflammation of the uterine tubes is called the salpingitis. What is the length of this uterine tube? It is nearly 10 centimeter length. The end of the tube, there is a finger like a projection is present. This is called the fimbriae. This is the ovary. Two ovaries are there. These fingers will be always swiping over the ovary. We may think that the egg is produced, that it will not come down. So once it is, that will be swollen area, it will be captured, it will be moving through the fallopian tube. Right or not? So this is lined by the ciliated epithelium. Why ciliated epithelium? It will be helpful for the egg to go over here. The lifespan of the matured egg will be nearly 48 hours. Okay, so this is about the fallopian tube. How many fallopian tube is there? Where is the position of the fallopian tube? What is the length of the fallopian tube? What is this? The parts of the fallopian tube, isthmus, ampulla, fimbriae, and then you write about the what is the functions of fallopian tube. Functions of fallopian tube, it propel the ovum from the ovary through the sweeping movement and taking to the through the slow peristaltic movement with the help of the ciliary movement. It will be reaching to the fallopian tube, where they will meet with the sperm, and there there will be a both sperm and fertilization will be happen in this area. This is called the zygote will be forming. So this is about the like the female introduction about the female reproductive system. So in detail about the ovary we will see. So the every time whatever you have to, the one word questions we may be coming. What is present in the front of the vagina, back of the vagina, what is the layers of the vagina, what is the functions of vagina, what is the length of the fallopian tube, what is called perineum, defines hymen, what is the cell which is present in the vagina. So stratified squamous epithelium, what is the cells which is present in the fallopian tube, what kind of a epithelium. So you have a more opportunity to study in a detailed manner, so that you can able to 20 marks are coming for this, either the match the following or fill up the blanks or the true or false. So whatever you are studying in a detailed manner, you always remember that whenever they are asking morphology of uterus or write the structure and function of uterus, first draw the structure, mark the parts, and please explain it, what is what. Understand? Drawing is so easy. Somehow you draw and study. Thank you.